Okay, would you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then please remain standing for our invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we ask you to guide us in this meeting so we may be united in the spirit of mutual respect and in the healthy exchange of our ideas. Help us to work together for the good of all in our community. Amen.
Amen.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, this is to announce that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. Also pursuant to the 2015 bylaws, rules, and regulations of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Burlington, time shall be set aside on the agenda for receipt of public comments. Public comments will be received with respect to agenda items prior to board consideration of resolutions to be adopted. An additional opportunity for public comment will occur later in the meeting. Public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Unused time may not be transferred to another speaker. Persons may speak once per public comment period. I direct the Deputy Clerk to enter into the minutes of this meeting this public announcement and the advance written notice of this meeting. Freeholder Bellegarde.
Here.
Freeholder Donnelly.
Here.
Freeholder Gargano.
Here.
Freeholder Schwartz.
Here.
Director O'Brien.
Here. And now I'll be looking for approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of June 29, 2015. Motion by
So moved.
Freeholder Gargano. Second by Freeholder Schwartz. Any questions?
I just wanted to clarify, June 29th or July 29th?
July.
It would be July 29th.
All right.
Any additions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the minutes are approved.
Abstain.
Okay. Extension noted. Okay, now I will open the public hearing for item E. If our clerk would kindly read the ordinance.
Public hearing on bond ordinance number 2015-00428 of the County of Burlington, New Jersey, amending bond ordinance number 2014-00108 of the County of Burlington, New Jersey, finally adopted on April 9th, 2014, and entitled Bond Ordinance of the County of Burlington, New Jersey, providing for the acquisition of various pieces of capital equipment and furnishings and construction of various capital improvements and renovations at the Burlington County College campuses in Mount Holly, Mount Laurel, and Pemberton, New Jersey, and appropriating $7,850,000 therefore, and providing for the issuance of $7,850,000 in bonds or notes of the county to finance the same, substituting a capital project for certain capital projects at the Rowan College at Burlington County campuses in the townships of Mount Holly, Pemberton, and Mount Laurel, New Jersey, heretofore canceled by the county college, to be funded with proceeds of the County of Burlington, New Jersey, $7,850,000 County College Bonds, Series 2014.
Okay, we will now entertain public comment on this item only. Is there anyone who wishes to comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, I will close this portion of the public comment and make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Okay, motion by O'Brien, second by Freeholder Gargano. Roll call, please.
Freeholder Bellegarde.
Yes.
Freeholder Donnelly.
Yes.
Freeholder Gargano.
Yes.
Freeholder Schwartz.
Yes.
Director O'Brien.
Yes. And now we'll move on to public comment on agenda items. At this point in the meeting, public comment is limited to items that are actually on tonight's agenda. Anyone who wishes to speak on another topic will have a chance to do so later in the meeting. So, do we have any public comments on agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move on to our resolutions. I'd like to make a motion that we approve resolutions G1 through G10 by unanimous consent. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Freeholder Donnelly. Are there any questions?
I actually do not have any questions on the bills tonight because Bill Stewart was good enough to answer them ahead of time for me.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you, Freeholder Belgard. All right.
I'm going to abstain on pages 50, 57, 58, New Jersey Carpenters on the bills.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then abstentions as noted. Moving on to Freeholder Donnelly.
Thank you, Director. At this time, I would move for adoption of resolution number G11.
Second.
Okay, motion by Freeholder Donnelly, second by Freeholder Gargano. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. We'll move on to Deputy Director Gargano.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to table item G15.
Second.
And can I just ask which item this was, just because I want to make sure I have the most updated agenda in front of me. Is that the approval of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority, not that one, or something else?
This is the approval of the electronic submission for the 2015 New Jersey Department of Transportation.
Got it. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
And at this point, I'd like to make a motion to approve by unanimous consent items G12 through G14 and items G16 through G28.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Gargano, second by Freeholder Donnelly. Questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? We'll move over on to Freeholder Schwartz.
Excuse me, at this time I'd like to move for unanimous consent for items G29.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Schwartz, second by Freeholder Donnelly. I'm sorry, I should have asked if there were any questions. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Right, ayes have it. With that, we'll entertain questions from the press. Alrighty, then we will move on to public comment. I have a sheet here. The first person I have here is Howard Jones from Medford.
You want me to come up?
When I was here in February, if you remember, you said you wanted paperwork. And as you know, I've been trying to have a meeting with any of you. There's a lot of it. So we'll start. Do you remember Mr. Wenrick?
I'm sorry?
Pardon? Do you remember Mr. Wenrick? He was the appraiser back in 2011. This is his book. Now, you all questioned that tree that I've been arguing about. Well, it's in this book. Do you wish to see it?
What's it say about the tree in the book?
That it was appraised to come down.
See, his appraisal isn't part of our contract to do any of the work. The appraisals are what the values are on anything. What Mr. Renwick thought of during the appraisal isn't basically what ties into what our engineering department does.
Why would he appraise it?
Because it
when
might
the
be some-
engineers say it's not their duty, and he appraised it, so somebody had to notify him.
It doesn't tie us to doing anything with any trees.
Then take this one. This is their paperwork with their plot plan showing the work that they were supposed to do on the property.
Mr. Jones, have you submitted that before?
No?
Okay, so this is something new.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I'm going to ask,
You gotta open it up.
Sorry, is this an original document, or is this a copy that we can keep?
Well, no, it's mine. That's all I have.
Okay, well, we don't want to keep your original, so we'll have to get a copy made.
Okay, you can do that.
All right.
But let him read what is stated, where in the yellow, if you will. They've been arguing and fighting with me every inch of the way with this project.
I understood, sir. We're not going to litigate the merits of this matter this evening. The freeholders and the legal department will certainly review anything that you submit, but this is not a hearing on the merits of what your issue is.
How can I get any answer? This has been going on since 2012.
What I would suggest is you submit all the paperwork that you say supports your claim so that we
I
can...
have submitted paperwork, and I get no answer.
You've got, sir, you have gotten answers. The answers is at the point we're at right now with what's been submitted, the county feels comfortable with what the engineering department said is that we've done what we were supposed to do. If you have additional documentation that shows that differently, we are more than willing to accept it.
You know why they're not doing anything? You know and I know, but nobody will say anything. It's because the project went so far over budget with what they blew that this is why they're letting me be the scapegoat to do all this nonsense. I got paperwork right here from them showing you, now you want to get dirty. There's fire hydrants that were to be moved. Ask Brickley if they got moved. One did, one didn't. And it's in a position that if they ever need it for the fire truck, the truck can't get to it. Handicap ramps. What is right directly behind my house? Do you know Metro Leeds?
Yes.
They're directly behind my house. Try to find any handicap stuff. And at the time this was going on, there was a fellow coming up the road in a wheelchair every day. No handicap. And there's sidewalks there. And some sidewalks were to be done, which they never did. They just bailed out because they got so far over what the original contract was for things that they had to do extra because of all the blunders.
If you have additional paperwork that support your claims on that, please, when you give them to the attorney, he'll get a copy and we'll take a look at it.
No,
And he'll give you your originals back
Yeah,
tonight.
yes.
We'll have those copies made and give you your originals back tonight.
This is the one about the fire hydrant right here. And this is all the other stuff on the next page, the following page that they were supposed to do that they never did.
And what I had asked Mr. Jones was that you make a list of the items that
I
you...
have, I sent you a list.
I didn't get that.
There's the letter right there. I gave you a copy of it. Brickley had a copy of it. Jeff Wright had a copy of it. Carl Buck had a copy of it. And no return calls from anybody. I told you, they shut me off in September of 2012, and they will not return a phone call. Now, Mr. Donnelly was here in February. They were going to get a copy of my plot plan to me, right?
Right.
Try to find it. They've never done it.
All right, we'll do it. I'll make sure it's sent to you certified by Friday.
Well, I'll tell you what I
Return
want,
receipt.
now that they're getting so nasty. I want to see it before they file it right here in the building.
It may have been filed. That I don't know. It may have been filed.
Well, if I find a problem, which I think there's going to be, I'm going to squeal.
Well, you have remedies. I mean, you clearly have remedies. And they're not in this building, they're in that building. But
Yeah, but try to get somebody to do it. You can't get a lawyer to touch it. You know what they tell you? Conflict of interest. You can't get a lawyer to touch none of this.
I can't speak to that. We will have a plot plan sent to you via certified mail.
Mr. Connolly, if I could just interject, there is no plot plan here. There was a transfer made by a deed of easement. There was no plot plan filed for this property.
There has to be. Because they went through my property. Not around it, but through it. So there's got to be ground taken off, a new plot plan made, the monuments removed, like I told you
But
then.
it's an easement.
It's an easement. It's an easement, and there was a relocation of survey markers.
Which will be represented in a drawing.
Correct.
Correct.
I want that sent certified to Mr. Jones by
And the
Friday.
amount of ground taken off.
That'll be represented.
That's contained within the meets and bounds description within the easement.
So send a copy of that certified as well.
Yes, sir.
By Friday, that'll be sent by certified mail.
I would doubt it. Because ain't
It will be
nothing,
done.
nothing shown up yet, and this has been since 2011.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Well, Janet Curran, please.
Good evening. Janet Curran, West Hampton. I was here at one time, I guess a month or so ago, to speak to you about the Centerton Bridge, and I just want to say again that I didn't miss many Freeholders meetings when you were in, before this was, we're right back to where we started in this new room. And many years ago, when Bill Haynes and Vince and Anne Marie and everyone was here, that I got great response from what I came to talk about. And it was the same as saving our farmlands, open space. Our parks are beautiful on what you've done and what you continue to do. And I really appreciate that. What worries me the most is still that we're far away from doing many things for our roads and our bridges throughout Burlington County and through all the counties in the states. I mean, we have a tremendous traffic issue in West Hampton alone on Rancocas Road, Wood Lane Road. It's tractor and trailers, Springside Road. So that being said, I would like to just say that in 2009, and I save a lot of articles from the Burlington County Times, 2009, can we rebuild our roads? And we're still trying to rebuild our roads. I mean, you know, the state has to come in and help also with some major issues. The other issue that I have that I kind of upset about, when I read an article in the Times about Rowan College and Burlington County to leave Pemberton campus. I mean, I don't have anything against that. I think education is important, and if we can make it better for our future, our generation now, our future. My youngest granddaughter is 16 months old, so I am just know that I won't be around when she is in high school, I don't think. But I do want to say that one thing that did upset me, and I'll try to get through this as briefly as I can, is the Rowan property possibly becoming an athletic field. The athletics will continue in Pemberton during the upcoming year, but the college is investigating new field house and athletic complex in a location closer to Mount Laurel. One happens to be in West Hampton, the former Henry Rollins property. And you have another location in Mount Laurel that is also under consideration. I couldn't imagine or dream that you would do something to such a beautiful property when you purchased it in 2007, and what the idea and what was printed in the Times, read at the time, why you were buying it, to keep it open for your park, for our parks, for walking. Many beautiful things can be done with that, as you've done with Winter's Farm, Smithville, all the beautiful things you've done, and you want to do rumors, but what I'm reading is that you're going to turn this over into an athletic field, park. We have a 3-year-old Quaker cemetery in that area. Miss Dunphy read to you the history of the home and all the beautiful, if you go back there right now, it's going to take some time doing, but there's many ideas that can be done to save this from becoming an athletic field. Another unnamed location, I don't know that location. Do you have the location's name in Mount Laurel?
We don't at this time, we're still evaluating.
You're still, okay. You're trying to look at needs for our sports teams, but also the possibility of partnering with private enterprise to help provide needed fields and athletic programs. The only question is whether we'll be able to take advantage of county and private partnerships. I happen to live near the sports complex in West Hampton, and I am kind of upset over the issue that we almost ended up with Roland's property. And one other quick thing I wanted to tell you, when I was here many years ago and talking to the freeholders, I belong to an environmental commission meeting, and it was all about the race for open space. It's very important if you want to keep this one and read it or listen to the CD. It was very interesting because it has all to do with the decisions we make today on land use will affect generations beyond our own children and grandchildren. So my children are grown, but I have young grandchildren. So I'm looking for more open space. I talked to our township last night. We have some ground, we have some acres that are for sale. And I also would like to say one quick thing to you. We were able, and you were able to help us save Mrs. Deacon's farm. That Mrs. Deacon's worked with the county for many years. We lost Dr. Hogan's farm to Virtual Hospital, and we still have the Hancock farm. And I'm really worried about that because we don't have many the farming that we have done in West Hampton is on ground that is owned by someone else, that they come in. So we don't have much farmland left, but from the many years that I grew up here and will be here as many meetings as I can get to bring to your attention, the future is in your hands with our roads, our education for our children. And, come into West Hampton and look what we have that is hopefully that you can help us if the Hancocks ever decide to sell their farm.
Okay.
I hope that we can save that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Curry. Anyone else? Okay. I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't see. Apologize.
Oh, it's okay.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sydney Richards.
Cindy?
Sydney, C-I-D-N-I-E.
And what town are you from?
Tabernacle.
Okay.
And I'm here to see if there's an update on the, I'm going to call it the Chesterfield pipeline, whether your engineer has a set route, whether that's been determined. I know there were negotiations by various towns.
I know they've had a couple of meetings, they've had their public hearings. Mr. Brickley, would you have an update of where we're at?
Yes, on the 26th of this month, there will be a meeting at Burlington County College, an open public hearing meeting. The county will be presenting its position relevant to our recommendation for using the utility easement to relocate the line versus going through Chesterfield, as well as the points of our notice to intervene. We'll be providing that information also in person to the BPU.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you. Anyone else? See none. I think we'll move on to, I will close the public portion of the meeting, and we'll move on to freeholder comment. So, freeholder Bilgard.
I actually have nothing this evening, but thank you.
Okay, thank you. Freeholder Schwartz.
I have nothing either.
Freeholder Donnelly.
I do have something this evening.
Okay.
Mrs. Curran, thank you for coming in, thank you for your comments, and I'm just going to, they were thoughtful, but I'm going to touch on all three of them briefly. In terms of roads and bridges, I think, I don't want to be held to this, but we have more curb miles of roads, county highway in Burlington County than any other county in the state of New Jersey. We spend on our own roughly $15 million a year to maintain county highways, and that's county taxpayer resources beyond state and federal resources that we get to help out. But your points are well made. It is an issue that does not reside with this board, though, because you read in the paper every day, the Transportation Trust Fund is broken in the state of New Jersey. At the federal level, the Transportation Trust Fund, I don't believe that's what they call it, Federal Highway Administration funds, is broken. We can't do everything we need to do on our own without help from our state and federal partners. With that said, we do more in terms of bridge work in a year than most other counties in the state. The state has a bridge program, a county bridge program, where every county gets $1 million a year, which really is a paltry sum if you think about the number of bridges and culverts in counties. We typically apply for and receive an additional $1 million from the state of New Jersey, simply because of the fact that we have our road work planned out so far in advance and ready to bid. So our highway department does a great job with it, but I agree with you. It's just, there's not enough money to go around in terms of road maintenance and road construction. In terms of education, we are looking at 2 sites, and I think one site in Mount Laurel would be much easier than the site in West Hampton Township, specifically because of some DEP issues. This decision will lie largely with the college, so we're partnered with the college on this. The genesis of the idea, though, is, let's try and make education more accessible, make these athletic complexes more accessible to where people live in Burlington County. So that's the thought process behind moving more towards a Mount Laurel-based campus. And lastly, open space, we hit right into our wheelhouse here. We're number 2 in the state of New Jersey, we're number 6 in the United States in terms of open space preservation. And this board has shown no desire to stop that process. I think, Mary Pat, 15 farms this year?
Yes,
15 farms, 1,100 acres this year,
yep,
neck of the woods?
yep.
And we have 19 we're hoping to make 19 offers next year. So we're maintaining that current pace that we have done for years and years. I'm sorry?
Hancock.
Well, see, but keep in
I
mind,
understand.
willing seller, willing
Sorry.
buyer, too. We can't tell them they're going to preserve their farm. We can be hopeful about that because, I mean, we try and spread that money around the county as much as we can also. We be mindful of the fact, or we need to be mindful of the fact that of the 40 jurisdictions that approve the open space tax, we need to make sure that we try and preserve farm or preserve space in and around those 40 jurisdictions so that everyone gets a piece of that pie. But the end of the game, or the end part of the story, is we are on pace, if not ahead of pace, of hitting all of our master plan goals in terms of farmland and open space preservation in the county. Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Freeholder. And Freeholder Grayano.
I'm just going to jump on that a little bit too with Transportation Trust Fund. The one thing we need when you turn around and you look at what we're doing in New Jersey is without good roads, the development we have for ratables and businesses, it doesn't happen. The issue that we have right now is that no one at the upper levels of government has found that dedicated funding source to make that happen. I know we had a meeting today with Senator Sweeney, and he's looking into that, trying to find some sort of a path to fund those projects. We can't. We don't have the dollars and the ability to do it. So that type of a system is going to have to be set up. I'm going to just jump right over to farmland also. The one thing that folks did in Burlington County before I got here, and I think we have, and we've committed to it again this year, is we have set up a dedicated funding source to preserve our farms, to preserve our open space. And that's the reason we are where we are right now. So I think it's been a commitment for, I guess it's been over 20 years, Joe?
Oh, yeah, 1986.
Yeah, so it's, we're moving into 30 years that we've turned around and had that type of commitment to make this happen. So hopefully for the Transportation Trust Fund, they're going to follow our lead of what we've done to preserve land here, and we can move it forward. That's all.
Okay, great. All right, with that, I would just like to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and I'll be looking for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Freeholder Donnelly.
Second.
Second by Freeholder Gargano. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Ayes have it.